Councilmember Fleming,
Here.
Council Vice President Escobar,
Here.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick, has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Additionally, a 48-hour notice of time, place, and manner of conducting this meeting has been made by the city clerk on February 8, 2022, as is required by law.
The City Council intends to meet on a regular schedule and will meet the guidelines of the Open Public Meetings Act by utilizing a teleconferencing system through which the public may participate. The public is encouraged to call into the conference call system through the phone numbers and access codes transmitted in the 48-hour notice. During the portions of the meeting that are not open for public comment, all callers from the public will be muted. During the public comment periods, those who have interest in addressing the council will first be organized by last name, then called upon to speak one time and for no longer than 5 minutes during each public comment portion of the meeting. A timer will chime at the completion of each 5-minute period, and the speaker will be notified that their time has expired. Public meeting assistance accessing the call-in number should call City Hall at 732-745-5007.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Kindly join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please join me in a moment of silence to reflect and honor our military personnel and law enforcement officers who dedicate their lives to protect our freedom, safety, and democracy. May God guide them safely in their duties. Thank you.
Motion on the minute. Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar,
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Madam Clerk, has correspondence been directed to the appropriate departments?
Yes, Madam President. The correspondence received by the City Clerk's office has been forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you. And I have a few updates I'd like to make from public comment at the last meeting. First, the ordinance for a 5-minute public comment period was adopted in 1971 to be used at the discretion of the council. Second, in regard to comments made about the NBHA, once a tenant moves in, they are responsible to clean the unit, keep it free from debris, and call or use the appropriate format to report all matters through the NBHA work order system. Concerns and claims from all residents are then addressed within a 24-hour period, and needed repairs are completed within the HUD guidelines. As such, the NBHA does need specific identification as a point of reference for assessment. The NBHA changes the filters on the furnaces every 3 months or at the request of a tenant for their respective units. Lastly, there are qualification guidelines and requirements for the size of a unit for prospective tenants, which cannot be changed. Lists of potential qualified residents are kept and assignment is made based on that list. In response to the deficit of the GIF, the deficit occurred as a result of IBNR expenses. The assessments are still due to the GIF by both former and current members. New Brunswick would continue to be responsible for assessment and costs during its time as a member, regardless if the city changed insurance companies in 2022. Those are my updates for this evening, and now we'll move on to ordinance for discussion on second reading. 1, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 17 zoning, for several proposed amendments. We are preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only.
Unmuted.
Per person, 1 time up. Madam Clerk, can you please prepare a list for us?
Yes, Madam President. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through Z, E through H, I through L, M through P, letters Q through Z. Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council? Please dial *6 to unmute yourself. This will be the last call, A through Z, if you wish to speak on the ordinance. All right, Madam President, I have no speakers on the list.
Can I have a motion?
Move the ordinance. Second. Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Muted.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar,
Yes.
Council President Secor Ludwig.
Yes. Now we have an ordinance on first reading, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title III, Revenue and Finance, Chapter 3.40, Payment in lieu of parking, Chapter 3.40, Payment in lieu of parking.
Move the ordinance setting down March 2nd, 2022 at 5:30, sent to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar,
Yes.
Council President Secor Ludwig.
Yes. Now we have resolutions 1 through 24, and at this time, we're preparing to open
Unmuted.
for public comment on these resolutions only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. Madam Clerk, if you would please prepare a list for us.
Yes, Madam President. If any members of the public wish to speak on the resolutions only, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through D, E through H, I through L, M through P. Okay, Mr. Cradaville?
Danielle Moore.
Okay, Ms. Moore?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Q through T. And letters U through Z. Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council? This will be the last call, A through Z, if you wish to speak on the resolution. All right, the list is now closed. Madam President, the first speaker on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you, and good evening, Mr. Cradaville. Will you please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address for the record? Mr. Cradaville? Can we move to the next speaker and come back to Mr. Cradaville, please, Madam Clerk?
Hi, I'm here now.
Sure,
Sorry.
Madam
Can you hear me
President.
now?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Okay, Charlie Cradaville, Kratovil, live on Sedam Street here in New Brunswick, editor of New Brunswick Today. Start with number 6, the
Muted.
McMahon contract. Can you tell me, have they done this work for the city before? And was this, it says fair and open bidding process. Can you tell me, how many other bids you got?
Mr. Shammy, can you please provide information on this resolution?
Certainly, Madam Council President. This firm has worked for the city in the past. When we started the the project, the Abandoned Properties Project, back in 2018, I believe it was. This was a fair and open process. There were 3 proposals submitted, and the McManaman proposal was the one that is being presented to the council for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Shammy.
Thank you. Moving on to the next one, the specialized equipment memorandum of understanding with the county and the PD. What kind of specialized equipment are we talking about? Does this include weapons, surveillance equipment, other equipment? What kind of equipment?
This is specialized investigative equipment, Mr. Cradaville. It's not weapons.
Okay, so surveillance. That's
Deputy
correct.
Director Miller would you like to speak about anything further than that?
This memorandum is an extension of a memorandum that was previously signed. This just allows us to also access equipment through the county's OEM department. It'll allow us to borrow equipment in the event of emergencies like light towers, sandbags, barriers. Again, the previous memorandum was with the county prosecutor's office, which this one is just an extension of. Surveillance equipment is a possibility, yes. Weapons are not included in there.
Thank you, Deputy Director.
Thank you for the answer. I'll move on. Number 9, architectural firm looking into City Hall. Can you tell me, are there problems with the building?
No, I believe this company was hired to assess the repairs and upgrades that were recently made on City Hall over the past several years. And Mr. Drulis, would you like to add anything to that?
Sure. Council, as you may have recognized, the last few years, the City Hall has been wrapped in scaffolding and protective shrouding. During that time, we were replacing the roof entirely, examining and fixing the exterior brickwork. So now that the water envelope for the building has been sealed, we are reviewing the internal walls and items related to the building. So it's all good stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Drulis.
Thank you. I'm going to jump to the very last one in case I run out of time. I just wanted to understand which project this is that's having their tax exemption transferred from one LLC to another entity. Which development is this, and what's going on here? Did it get sold?
This was a multi-family unit development at 1 Richmond Street, and ownership is being transferred. And so the new owner will also be responsible to honor the terms of the pilot that's in place, plus they have to pay a $20,000 assignment fee to the city pursuant to statute.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll move up to the one right before it, Jaffe Communications, apparently getting a contract here for public information support. Can you tell me what they're going to be doing for the city? Is Mr. Barron still on the payroll? Is he unable to, meet the needs of the public information officer position? He needs help with it, or what's going on here?
Mr. Barron is still going to be in his position, and this is an effort to expand the services that we already provide through the public information officer, Mr. Cradaville. Thank you for your time and your question.
Madam President, the next speaker on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Thank you. Hello, Ms. Moore. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. If you could please state your name, spell your last name, and your address for the record.
Danielle Moore, M-O-O-R-E, Somerset Street.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Moore.
Well, I would just like to first just make a comment on 7, where I hope this is something that's really in use, due to where I say I'm very disappointed with the city council with so much equipment for the police department, where honestly, I say with a lot of equipment that the city council is getting for the police department is honestly like making the police department do less work. If you
If I
understand
could
what I'm
just-
saying, due to the
I would just like to clarify one thing. This is not a purchase of equipment. This is an agreement to allow us to use equipment that has already been purchased by the county.
well, whether it's been purchased or not, my point is due to where with the city council is purchasing or getting whichever way, we're buying too much equipment and too many things, like I said, to make it things so much lighter where the police department is doing less work. I will say, set for example, where you approve the cameras so they can just read license plates. Well, what is the police department doing? Nothing. Well, what? You shouldn't even have to really purchase that due to where my example, what I'm saying, wow, you have 3 police departments in New Brunswick, Rutgers, New Brunswick Police Department, and the Sheriff Department. And like I said, the more things you keep doing, the city council is still doing with the police department, what, to really, excuse my language, what, to sit on their rear end? Please, be for real. Like I said, too much is going on, and it's honestly, this city council was in on it due to where, come on, the police department really needs to start doing things. I will jump to number 21. You can just tell me, has this been done already for Somerset
Yes,
and
it
Lewis?
has. Yes, it has. This was
please
non-pro.
Then please
Yes,
tell
it was-
me, I noticed that in the past 5 months, why has the city council been admitting things that have been already done ahead of time? Normally, it goes through city council and then the job is done. I've noticed on several jobs, why are you permitting this after it's been done already?
There are several instances that come up where weather has played a part, emergency situations have played a part, and that's why typically
Oh, okay, and then my last one, that would be for 23.
yes, the one I was just going over, that is to expand the services of public works, the public information officer within the city.
Well, I wasn't too sure due to where Mr. Clatterville's minutes had ran out, that if you had finished saying the whole entire thing.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, then I will speak to with my time. That's on 20. I will just say, wow, this is a lot, like I said, a lot of construction work going on, mainly blocking corners off due to where I have to say with so many locations where you are really putting pedestrians at risk. Too much construction work going on at one time. And like I said, due to where, wow, and I will set an example just to explain to you what I'm talking about so you understand what I'm saying. That's Eastern Avenue and Somerset Street. Wow, how you're working on 3 corners where what the pedestrians have to walk in the street. Wow, are these cars respecting the pedestrians? And wow, these officers that are getting, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, getting $93 an hour, they don't even direct or help with the traffic. And they're just sitting in the vehicles, and that's another thing the city council voted on, a raise to do what? With the police department. Even with the contractor, due to where with Livingston Avenue, he'll tell you, wow, how many of his workers almost got hit as the police department doing anything. Wow, I can show you a video with the police car right there, Jersey Avenue. What, do people respect it that he had the roadblocks off? Darn near crashed into the police car and another vehicle. So like I said, I wish the city council really looked in for safety instead of just.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Moore. Can I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes, I'll abstain on 22.
Duly noted. Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have items for discussion by council. The first is the master plan input session. And at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Dominguez if he can give an introduction to this session. It is the first of 4, and although the city is under no obligation by law to conduct any public sessions at all, we are doing 4 sessions on this. And at that time, I will ask Mr. Dominguez to please say a few words.
Thank you, Council President. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Good evening. Tonight, the city is hosting its first public input session on the upcoming master plan update. CME, which is our consultant, has been hard at work doing research on the city and working on the bones of this master plan. And we hope that a final updated master plan will be adopted in a few months. Tonight, the public is invited to comment on what they might like to see in our upcoming plan. What it will not be is a question and answer session, but we do look forward to hearing your input for this planning process. With that, I return it to you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Dominguez. And now I'll ask Madam Clerk if you could please prepare a list for us of speakers.
Unmuted.
And this also will be a 5-minute list, one time up.
Okay. If any members of the public wish to speak on this public master plan session, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through Z, E through H, I through L.
Charlie Cradaville, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Cradaville.
Yes.
M through P.
Danielle Moore.
Okay, Ms. Moore.
Thank you.
Q through T. And letters U through Z. Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council? This will be the last call, A through Z. If you wish to speak on the master plan input session. All right, Madam President, the first speaker on the list,
Muted.
Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you, Mr. Cradaville. The floor is yours for comment.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm pleased to see the city is going to have 4 input sessions for the master plan. I think the original plan was only to have 1, so I'm glad that's been revised. But I will say that I'm caught off guard a little bit because this item is listed under items for discussion by council, which would leave someone to believe that this is not actually the input session itself, but rather an opportunity for the council to discuss an input session. So I have not prepared any input. I'd like to know, when are the next 3 sessions going to be? Are they just going to be included in the council meeting like this one, or are they going to stand on their own?
Mr. Dominguez, just on this one question, I know we're not taking questions on this, but do you have a...
I understand, Council President. We do not have a list of dates finalized. They will be published as soon as they're ready. We're expecting, they will not be at council again. It will be one at a planning board session, one at a zoning board session, and one-off session.
Thank you, Mr. Dominguez.
I appreciate the answer. So yeah, I think in general, the city would benefit from focusing more on community facilities, places like public parks, community centers, swimming pools, and other spaces that can be used by the community. Over the past several decades, my entire time here, we've seen public spaces taken over by private interests. Right now, we're down a school because this council and the Board of Ed and the powers that be thought it was okay to trade a school in exchange for a future promise for a school, and now the kids of the 5th and 6th Ward lost their school. I think we need community spaces that are designed with the community in mind, so not cramming as many kids as possible into every school building, but rather having schools and parks and, you know, meeting spaces and community centers in every neighborhood so that we can all have a better quality of life and more community connectivity. Right now, as somebody who you know, runs a business and you know, does community organizing, it's very hard to find a space just to have a meeting, you know, let alone to have you know, athletic activities or other things that are more specific. I know that you know, there's community spaces are few and far between these days, but back in the old days, there were a lot more spaces like the neighborhood house or other spots where the community could gather. I think that the next generation would benefit from having places to go after school in every neighborhood. You can't just have one place like the Hub Teen Center and expect people from every neighborhood to traverse all the different neighborhoods to get to that spot. You need to have these you know, community spaces part of the fabric of the community. But unfortunately, the most convenient pieces of real estate, like the former Ferrin Mall, are all being taken over by the same handful of private developers who, you know, are putting profit over people and, you know, not developing those community spaces. So I think that we really need to prioritize in the master plan getting, you know, a public pool, getting more public parks, getting more meeting spaces and community rooms, community centers for the people of New Brunswick to enjoy and ultimately to make the city a better place and improve our quality of life. I think that, you know, there's obviously going to be increased housing development, and we need corresponding to that schools that will, you know, be able to provide safe places for children to get a quality education. And, you know, what we've seen is all too often the city willing to sacrifice those kids and their future by, you know, trading off for the benefits of doubling down with, you know, higher education and hospitals, which, you know, we already have a lot of, and they do bring some value to the community. But, you know, we really need to put the children first. They have spaces. I'm sorry, it sounds like somebody's doing their dishes or something, so I hope you can hear me. I'm not sure who's
Yes,
making those noises, but I'm sorry.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Cradaville. If anybody is on the line, if they're not speaking, please keep your phone on mute so everyone can be heard. And I did hear everything you were saying, Mr. Cradaville. It came through loud and clear. And if I could have the next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Madam President, the next speaker on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, your 5 minutes begins now for comments.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, yes, I would also agree with Mr. Cradaville due to where I say our community really does need a pool, even though I know the mayor did talk to a Robert Wood Johnson Fitness Center a few years ago about letting some of the kids use the pool for free after the 2 kids drowned at down to the Raritan River. And I have to say, due to where it's only a few times, I don't really think that's enough time to really teach a child how to really get swimming lessons, even though, believe me, all the parents appreciate it with all their heart. But yes, I do have to say something for the community to start having these kids do things, a swimming pool, even a nice big flea market, something where you can go bring your family to safely, due to where that can maybe stop with a lot of the crime on the street. Well, due to where something for fun, like I said, for a community. That's my main saying. Surely nothing prayed that it's nothing more what for Rutgers or Robert Wood Johnson, even though, like I said, wow, this council and the planning board and the mayor are really giving New Brunswick, the city of New Brunswick to Rutgers, and Robert Wood Johnson were taking everything, due to what I have to say with all this construction going on. And so they're building these new luxury apartments, due to where, wow, I think also possible another school somewhere, due to where it's time to think about the community, doing something, this council to start doing something to make the community happy, not about just money. Money's not everything. And even though, like I said, I know how a lot of you always think of Robert Wood Johnson, Rutgers about everything, but come on, please, let's start thinking about the community. Due to, I know some say we can't blame something the way these children are now these days, due to where parents don't chastise their children like they should be, or you can't compare to like you used to. But I should say something, I would say, for bring families together, fun. So I hope you do think about that for the future. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Moore. We'll take them under advisement. I'm sure Mr. Dominguez wrote them down as well. And Madam Clerk, do we have any other speakers for input?
No, Madam President.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the COVID-19 update. Is Mr. Domkowski on the phone?
Good evening. The COVID update for February 16th, 2022. The COVID case numbers and hospitalizations continue to improve locally and statewide. The best protection against COVID continues to be the vaccination. The city of New Brunswick has dedicated pages to our website for COVID testing and vaccination. Both pages can be viewed directly from the city website by navigating to the COVID-19 drop-down menu. For COVID testing, www.cityofnewbrunswick.org/COVID testing. And for COVID vaccinations, www.cityofnewbrunswick.org/COVID vaccines. We will continue to share major COVID news via social media and our city website, cityofnewbrunswick.org. Thank you.
Thank you for that update. At this time, we're preparing to open the meeting for public comment for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up.
Unmuted.
It's for public comment only. It's not a question answer session. Madam Clerk, will you please prepare a list?
Madam President, City Council people.
Oh my goodness, I'm so terribly sorry. I didn't have it
muted.
And in my, I just apologize. Madam Vice President Escobar, do you have any comments this evening?
No, the only thing that I would like to recognize the passing of Faith Harris, who was a pioneer and a warrior for the children in New Brunswick and for the community in general. So we just lost him a couple of weeks ago. So my sympathy to the family. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Anderson, do you have any comments you'd like to make this evening?
Yeah, I also would like to comment, thank you, Mr. Harris, for what all you have done for New Brunswick. I'd also like to congratulate the New Brunswick High School girls wrestling team who did so well in their tournament, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Egan, do you have any comments you'd like to make this evening?
No, madam.
Thank you. Councilman Fleming, do you have any comments this evening?
No.
Thank you. And again, my apologies to everyone. And now we'll move on. We'll prepare to open the meeting for public comment for up to 5 minutes per person.
Unmuted.
And again, it's for comment only. And Madam Clerk, will you please prepare a list?
Yes, Madam President. If any member of the public wishes to address the council, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through Z, E through H, I through L.
Charlie Cradaville.
Okay, Mr. Cradaville. M through P,
Danielle Moore.
okay, Ms. Moore.
Did you? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Letters Q through T, and letters U through Z. Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council? This will be the last call, A through Z. Madam President, the first person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Muted.
Mr. Cradaville, the floor is yours for comment.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to echo the remarks of Council Vice President Escobar and Councilman Anderson regarding Dave Harris, and say rest in peace to a New Brunswick hero who we were all blessed to have take up the noble cause of fighting for the children of New Brunswick, and hope that we can continue his legacy here in the city. I want to ask, and maybe you can respond tonight, or maybe you can respond at the next meeting, but is it true that the Puerto Rican Action Board is going to be leaving the city of New Brunswick soon? All my sources tell me that they've sold their building and planning to move to East Brunswick. Is that true?
I don't have that information, but I will get it for you, Mr. Cradaville, if you want to continue with your comments.
Thank you. Then the next item is something happened in my neighborhood last night. There was a crime scene at Remsen and Townsend. Can I get some information? Was there a stabbing at 60 Remsen?
You'll have to contact the police department through that, and I think they require it in writing.
I already have, and I haven't gotten an answer yet. So the Deputy Director's on the call. Can he respond?
Deputy Director Miller, if you receive this email, will you respond to Mr. Cradaville?
Yes, I received his email and I will respond to him.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I know the city website advertises a online crime mapping tool, but that tool has not been working for over a month now. What happens to the online crime map?
I'm making note of your questions and comments, and you can continue.
Okay. I know you've been copied on some emails regarding the false statement posted to the city website that smeared the victim of a murder. That statement was issued November 12th. I've been asking at just about every meeting you've had since then. You keep trying to take the discussion offline and tell me I'm going to get my answers offline, but haven't gotten any answers. When can I expect an answer to who wrote the false statement that was posted to the city website?
Well, Mr. Cradaville, I'm going to make an exception to answers for this, because this is not something that's in the purview of the city council. And I'm going to ask Mr. Barron, because I have seen your emails going back and forth. I'm going to ask Mr. Barron if you can please provide Mr. Cradaville with an answer right tonight, please, if you could.
Sure. Thank you, Madam President. The information that's on the website is being treated as if it were a news feed, where the additional information was posted at a later date and was also up on the website, which made some an amendment, I guess, if you will, to the original document, and that was posted on the city website a short time afterwards.
Thank you, Mr. Barron. If you want to continue with
Of course,
your comments,
that did not
Mr.
answer.
Cradaville, now.
Yeah, that did not answer the question. The question was who wrote it? Who is the author of the false statement? That's a simple question. There is an answer to it. I know you've told me, Madam President, that it was the police department, but of course the police department consists of 137 officers approximately. Who wrote it?
You can continue with your comments. Mr. Barron, if you can please get back to Mr. Cradaville on the specifics he asked for, I would appreciate it.
Yes, Madam President.
Okay, so we'll prolong this painful process here of just trying to get a straight answer out of the city government. I don't understand why you don't think this falls under your purview. The New Brunswick Police Department is one of the 10 departments of the city of New Brunswick, supervised by the mayor and the council. So, you know, I haven't gotten my answer, but if I were on the council, I would want to know as well who posted this false statement to the website for my city. I know that you're planning to make changes to the payment in lieu of parking ordinance. What are you changing? Didn't we just pass that? What's going to change?
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Cradaville. They will be noted and addressed at the following meeting if necessary. Who's next on the list, Madam Clerk?
Madam President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, you have 5 minutes for comment and it starts now.
Hi, yes, I would also like to say rest in peace to Dave Harris. I would also like to say thank you to the New Brunswick Fire Department and the other fire departments that helped along. I say you did a great job in saving the 135 Jones Avenue house from the fire starting from 133 to stop it from spreading. Great job. But it's a shame that this city even let that house build up with junk, even though you paid almost $10,000. But like I said, you don't treat everyone equal, and it's very sad. Well, if anything, I say the fire department should have received a raise of their work instead of the police department. Sad to say, out of all the fires and the major car accidents that we have had here in New Brunswick, very sad, but I say, wow, they are really working their behinds off. And like I said, they surely should have got the raise instead of the New Brunswick Police Department. I will say God bless to the hearts due to where we have plenty of cold blue night, and God bless to all the volunteers for helping out with Code Blue. And like I said, also thank you, Keith Jones, for your work as well with Code Blue. I know it's been plenty of nights, record breaking. Now, one question due to where you did not answer my question from the last meeting when I asked you for Mr. Shammy or Captain Miller, please, and would I be allowed to touch a police officer off duty just because I like him? You never gave me you answered my question.
You're not allowed to touch anybody inappropriately, whether it's a police officer or any person, Ms. Moore. That would be my comment.
Thank you. Then thank you. That is a comment. Thank you for once and finally you really said the right answer. Then please tell me, why is the police department allowing people to do it on this street? And like I said, thank you. Due to where. Well, either way, I'm not going to let you kill my time, but please, okay, thank you. You still said the thing, but like I said, I do not feel New Brunswick Police Department is making New Brunswick safe, doing their jobs where you're making New Brunswick, I can do whatever I want in New Brunswick, whether it's speeding, 80 miles per hour on a 25-mile zone, the police see it. Please tell me, what is New Brunswick Police Department getting paid almost $200,000 to do? And this city council, like I said, you're making this police department much more lazier. What's the purpose of buying cameras due to where you have 3 police departments here in New Brunswick? And what? I will put $10,000 down if I went through New Brunswick to get signatures. Do you feel New Brunswick Police Department is making you safe? I guarantee you. that, what, at least 50%, come on, please, I know I'm not trying to be enemies, but like I said, as a resident of 45 years, do I think New Brunswick is safe anymore? No, I don't. And like I said, it's part of this city council who keeps making this to the police department, and it's very sad. And then my other question, one thing what I would like to know on, and I say things due to where I don't like to do ask over the phone or writing, because if he say, she say, please tell me at the next meeting, what is self-defense? I would like him to ask the word from Captain Miller or Mr. Shammy, what is self-defense? Due to where what? If someone hits me, what do I have the right to hit them back, and then what? Just because, and then I will be charged? The same incident that I had, and like I said, something told me one reason why I didn't hit that man, because what? Most likely what? I would be arrested. New Brunswick needs to get their laws correct, and like I said, stop judging by the color of your skin and the location that you live, of how you're being treated with what the law is. And like I said, New Brunswick Police Department is helping people break the law due to where they do not do anything about it. And come on, it needs to get better. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to say, I'm pretty sure you saw the hit and run on the corner of Jersey Avenue and Handy Street. Wow, did that truck driver, even get a ticket? Left the scene. I'm pretty sure you saw my article. What, how many accidents in not even 24 hours? What, Joyce Comer and Handy? You can tell these are all with speeding. And come on, something needs to be done where, like I said, with the police department.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Moore. Do we have anyone else for public comment, Madam Clerk?
No, Madam President.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan, okay, I'll come back. Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar,
Yes.
Egan's back.
Councilmember Egan, thank you.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Have a safe evening.